All right, here we up. Let me see if we're live. I haven't done this in a while, and every time. Where is this? How am I supposed to share this? Maybe there's a link here. Usually it. Yep, here we go. I got it. In case anyone is watching. And let's walk this week. Let's walk it away by sharing this live stream, sharing this love, and opening some royalty footing forever. Okay. Maybe my internet is bad. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe sci-fi this time. There is no sci-fi. There's no such thing, Bogey. What are you doing, Bogey? Cold Terror, royalty free for you Halloween motherfuckers out there. Designed this is someone was paid probably, or maybe he didn't. Maybe he just made it and sold it, or popularizes this art for free. But this already is such a nice image. Anyways, with this alien thing. Did I share it? I think so. Okay, cool. So guys, just a quick update first before we go on any further. Maybe I'll do this on a big screen. All right, so we're on page 6. Last few times I was doing other things, not the pages, but the pages have been going. I did 2 pages last week. So pretty soon, when we finish this first arc, I'll be then coloring. But before that, maybe I can show you just a quick update on the last 2 pages. So maybe you recall the 5th one was this one, or maybe not. But it's a very important one because yes, we have a first sighting of the detective penis. He's peeing here. There's a detective penis. There's a witness here. And there's the detective and Trumpy. This camera is difficult to maneuver. Here at the bottom, just overseeing some restaurant about to make an arrest. Now, I skip forward through this a little bit on the next one. So on page 5, we already have the arrest. We have this guy is in jail. Now we have a little bit of a glimpse of inside the police, the department in future New York. And then we have this interesting idea I had to split the page like this with this comet thingy flying straight to Earth. As you can see here, the city is in one big crater essentially, which later on we're going to find out why. There's some clever things here and there. And then this bottle panel here, I think it was pretty okay-ish, this one. I like the detective here. You see I did a lot of effort on this chest hair. Trumpy. But there you have this comet thingy approaching and making it dangerous. And right here on the 6th page, we're opening with this pretty dramatic, which I've heard if you do something dramatic, do it in silhouette. So that's what I'm doing here. It's the death of Trumpy. The Trumpy has been destroyed by this falling object from space, from the previous page, and the detective didn't even notice. And that's why I didn't see. One thing I'm curious about. First of all, you see that I started like already kind of inking before I even finished the whole thing. It's just experimenting with different things and just trying to keep it interesting for myself because, you gotta keep it fun. And secondly, I was wondering if I should do these rocks dark also, because they don't look good like that. They should have been black probably, but I just wanted to have those characters visible. You can see that I'm not even fully committing to the black. For example, here I had to draw the asshole. If I zoom in, I did draw these ass lines. But that's because I first went completely dark, and then it was hard to say which leg is which. Now you can see that this is the right leg and this is his left leg. But if you didn't have this, trust me, maybe it's hard to imagine, but it might have looked like this could have been the opposite. So this could have been the left leg, and then this would be the crotch. It's a little bit difficult to read without those just simple lines. So maybe they're not correct to be in a place like this if it's silhouetted, but whatever. I did it anyway. Just so you feel this move, you feel the way he turns to see what's happening. So I'm gonna go with so what's happening here, Trumpy is violently killed, and then there's this thing coming out of this asteroid. So it wasn't any regular thing, it was something more irregular. And let's go. And in the meantime, as always, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm reading them, you know, on occasion. Last week I uploaded 2 new stories on the Patreon page. This week I'll probably do another one. I mean, not new, they're new to the Patreon page. I wrote them last year, those stories, but no one has read them. So, you see this? Okay, maybe I'll zoom in. I'm always starting with the panel outline. Or looks, you should get a cup of coffee. Is this what you're telling me? Wait, you should get a cup of coffee. Do you mean I should get the cup of coffee later story out, or just this cup of coffee? Yeah, I am pretty slow. So last week I did 2 pages, and this week I didn't even do 1. But that's the thing, you know. That's why I undercommit. If I say I'm gonna do 1 page a week, and I do 2, that's a victory. If I don't even do 1, that's a failure. Also, another thing I've been wondering about is if I should play with the line. There was a name for this, I forgot. The color of what's happening between the panels. Because I was even listening to some videos. Some guy was explaining how these dudes like do this comic book that's pretty interesting. When the character is in a bad mood or something, it switches and the color between the panels is black. And then if everything is good, it's just white. It's like subliminally messaging. Do you use a ruler or something for those long projectile lines? I do only like in this stage when I'm planning. And then as you can see, I like this I try to do with hand. Or actually this first line I didn't. I did just a regular ruler. But as you can see, like I do most of the lines like this, and I do them jagged just on purpose to get away with, because otherwise it would be too hard to do them in a straight line. But I generally do it measure it with the ruler, and then when I do it with the ink, I try to do it with my own stiff alcoholic hand. Actually, maybe I'll go with the question mark first. What's interesting is, yeah, I like that also. Like it's similar to what tattoo artists do. Also, they need to have their, like, the hardest thing. I was talking to this tattoo guy once. The hardest thing for them is just to draw like a circle, you know, without their hand just going crazy. And it's somehow similar here. And the worst thing is because you have the outline. If the outline is really, I don't know, it's really regular, and you want to carefully go over that outline, the last thing you do is have that. Usually those things, all of those fluid lines, they work really well when your hand is slightly relaxed. Like if your hand is too stiff, they become this is a circle. So that's the problem with those things. See how every single time I do this, the design changes every time ever so slightly. It's never the same helmet. It's never the same character. Just not consistent. Not sure if I should go with the whatever's under. This finger is a little fucked up. It looks like a little warm. It's broken down too many times. It should have been more straight. By doing this, yeah, whatever. It's not even his hand. He doesn't feel any pain. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when we get to the rendering. Or maybe I should render now. Yeah, probably. That's what I should. This page I'm doing way more panels. It's because I'm experimenting still, trying to figure out what works better, but also because I want to quick up, the pace. I want to speed things up a little bit. So I'm thinking more screens, I don't know, might look better. I'm not sure what to do with this guy. Okay, so usually I still do this with the pencil a little bit. Let's think. See if I do a little bit of a backlighting on this, just to have, like if we have most of this in shadow still. That would mean most of this. All right, let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna go with this, with the Fudenosuke, with a soft tip though. The soft tip is really nice. I'm usually a fan of the hard tip, but this soft tip is really nice. Look at how smooth the experience. It smooths away my pain. Not too worried about this yet because I can still add a bunch of detail later. You see, I'm taking some liberties here. If this is not too correct. There is no rim lighting hitting the hand. Well, there could be. But if I have to be really correct, I have to replicate it on all the knuckles, and I'm not. I'm just doing it here, so who cares? It's just, readability. It's about you understanding what you're saying. And I'm not even doing the whole thing. You see, I'm just doing a little bit of it. And maybe I'll add a line or two, just to make a line here. It's not going to justify anything, but like this creepy ass horror music. Watched a bunch of horror movies. I watched so many horror movies. It's so hard to, see something good because I've seen them all. It's hard for me to get inspired. Oh, hell, thematically, I'm enjoying some really disturbing things on the eve of Halloween. not too disturbing. All right. Alright, whatever. We have some sort of a rough estimate of these shadows here. Not sure about the overall scale of things. Those are a little bit difficult to figure out. Like if you put a hand in front of a face, like how close the hand is gonna be. Even in like, if you think about it, even if in photography or in movies, it's hard film to film to predict that because it all depends on the rig, on the lens, on everything. It might be actually difficult to predict in a piece that's, you know, not real live action. Yeah, we'll see if this works the way I thought about it originally. It's always problem solving, right? You're, at least in my case it is, which I guess I'm glad it is, because the alternative would be too much planning, I guess. And what I mean is, so I go, okay, I'm gonna draw this comic book. Okay, so what do I need? Well, I need the story. So I first come up with the story, and then figure out how to draw everything in the story. But I'm not making the story around what I can or cannot draw, you know? In this sense, I think that's cool. Because I learn things on every page, on every panel. There are things that I'm drawing for the first time that I never did before. And some of it is it's never gonna reach the good level where you want it to be. I don't know, to be a pro or for your own judgment. But some of it might just do the part, you know, might practically work. And, you know, sell the story. I think right now the biggest challenge I see for myself is pacing. It's because, you know, with everything else, let's say you write something, right? Let's say you write 3,000 words, which is like 5 pages. Let's say it takes you a day, or let's say it takes you a week. But you sit down every day for a little bit and you write it. The thing is, once you write it, it's pretty fast to consume, to read it back. And then you can edit it forever. You can decide how you want to do it, if you want to switch things around in the story, if you want to. But you can decide all of that. And you can tell the pacing, you can give yourself a break, you can send it to someone else to read. In this thing, I don't have this vision. I can only have this vision when I finished everything. When I look back at the 60 pages I've done, I'm like, okay, actually, these first 10 pages, I needed more, or I needed less. But in order to have this, you need the entire piece. The alternative is you get informed by what you have already, which is not the best alternative. Why? Because it's not reliable. If I look at what I have so far and I try to do the rest based on that, well, if what I have now is too sluggish, then the rest is going to be slow. If it's too fast, then the rest is going to be rushed. You know, so this shouldn't be your, I think, guiding point. So I'm just sticking to the plan and you know, problem solving day by day. Okay, so I guess that straight line is a little bit confusing, and so is this chest line here. It looks like, okay, I'm gonna close this one. Maybe even close the whole thing. I'm gonna think about what to do here because okay, this line is confusing here. I'm gonna break it down. I'll break it up a little bit with something more horizontal. I'm gonna black out some of those lines later. Okay, the rest is okay. I guess I'm gonna add some of those. This is just I don't know how to call them, but reflections. I went too crazy with it, but anyways. I like to add those. It looks more shiny. Now, if I go and add a little bit of detail, this is already like if you want, you could end it here. That's fine too. I mean, no need to add more. But I just add a little bit, just a tiny bit, like some either metal texturing or connection points or something. Yeah, I don't know. It's just lines, man. Doing lines. Doing a few extra lines here and there. Okay. Yeah, these guys. The previous panel, I was looking at a lot of. God damn it! Every time I forget the name of the guy. The guy who drew. It's one of the most influential anime guys. The guy who drew Ghost in the Shell. This guy, in terms of coming up with this, so everyone has a strength, right? Let me show you some of his stuff. And this guy, one of his definite strengths is not just the final result, but from what I can tell, from what I've read, his design, coming up with these stuff. So, who drew Ghost in a Shell? Google. It was Masamune Shiro. This guy. What an amazing amount of creation in his mind, coming up with these robots and hot chicks. And so I was looking at a lot of this design to come up with the inside of the police department in the previous slide. It's nice. It's a lot of, you can see this, right? Round objects, like insectoid looking. Like, look at this. It's you can see that this is a mechanical, like it's some sort of a robot. But it's so smooth, and he has. It's hard to say an understanding of anatomy because it's not exactly like this is real anatomy, but it's understanding of how anatomies work in general, so that when you come up with these muscles and you put them here, and it makes sense, and the head, everything is so good. It's so good, his stuff. As you can see, it's all over the place. There's a lot of stuff that shares these ideas and designs. And it's because he was really influential. And you know that Ghost in the Shell was what inspired, well, first the animated movie, and then things like even The Matrix, We would have Masamune Shiro, exactly. Okay. Really, really interesting guy. And amazing art. So maybe not the next time, but the one after that is when I'm gonna do the first coloring session. Because I want to do something before I go on vacation, but it's a little different. And not just the regular stuff. And I think that could be cool. crazy with this shit here. Fucking Lord of the Rings with this bullshit. Fucking Middle Earth runes. I fucking started chanting here. Anyway, some fantasy. Some fucking bullshit. That's the name of the fucking game. Some fantasy, some bullshit. But in a small panel like this, how much can you fucking show? It's a gesture, it's question mark, that's it. Now, just to make it a little maybe more different, I wonder if I should do something in the background. Even if it's just the lines. It's like just the noise, just to differentiate from this, because I left this blank on purpose just for the higher contrast. Like you can see just the body, and not sure if I want to do that here. Or maybe, since we mentioned anime, I can do those big anime lines, like attention to detail. Yeah, why not? Yeah, well, let's see if it's gonna work. I'm not sure if it should be his head or this question mark. Let's imagine there's a dot here. And then maybe we do something around it. See, here's an example of where we could use this thing, the ruler. I used to have jokes about a ruler back in the day when I was doing stand-up. I would have this thing about the ruler being a boy's best friend. But isn't it true that us boys, we find a ruler, we discover a ruler, and immediately every little guy, I don't care sexual orientation, I don't care what they identify with, if they got a wee wee or pee pee, what there's a GG, if they have a something in their pants, they know how to use this ruler. Do you know what I mean? Immediately there's an application. There's an immediate application for this. So that's what I thought, and I wanted to share my thoughts on the stage. See, I was thinking like something like this, like, and then the same on the other side. As you can see, I'm slow, and this is why I hate doing perspective so much. This is why the previous page just fucking killed me. But that's it, you know, the beauty of not having backgrounds on every panel. If you don't, God help me. Thank you, please. It's beautiful. Life is beautiful. Okay, let me just do this maybe with the one. So I'm gonna go over them just because with the break it down to. Not go all the way or yeah, I think it'll do something. I don't know what it does. What is this called? Zoom in. Dramatic zoom in effect. Yeah, whatever. I think it does something. It does something. That's my final answer. I'd like to mark does something. That's my final answer. It does something. Okay, so let's do this one. Now this one, I'm not entirely sure. So what I'm gonna do, I might actually switch it like this so you guys see. And why do I say guys when it's just Ogi watching all the time? I don't know. So you Ogi can see. And I might actually just when I'm not entirely sure, what I do is I'll just go one more time and add a little more detail. And before I commit, oh shit, I broke my already super tiny pencil. I got more. But this one was my lucky one. It's pretty small. It's this big. It's smaller than the detective's pee-pee. Let me use my cup, my coffee cup for this shit. Isn't this entertaining? If someone is watching this on a Friday evening, wow, this is great. This is great entertainment. I don't know what I'm gonna offer for the next fucking whatever years I'm alive. If I'm this empty already of entertainment. Maybe you say guys because of my advanced schizophrenia. Maybe it's the other way around. Every time I say, oh, this is a good advice, I'm referring to myself. I try to influence my own self with my own advice. That's what I do. Okay, so I'm trying to lighten up maybe a little bit. The face I sort of like. What I'm not convinced about are the intestines and the overall stuff. Okay, so I want to give him this sort of definitively dead look. But without, like, with him still being recognizable. Wonder how to do his eyes, because I've always done his eyes white, so I'm not sure if I go black if it's gonna make any difference, like if he's gonna look more dead if they're black. Maybe, especially if there's some blood draining from them, which is kind of what I was also planning to do. Give him more of a kind of a skull look. A little bit drained out of his blood. Okay, see, I didn't plan it too well because I had on this previous page an image of him lighting up a cigarette, which really was drawn as it should be, like a joint. And you can see him here dying holding this cigarette, which makes no sense. So now it has to follow that it is in his right hand also. And the only reason for that is just so I can have this bad guy who emerges on the next panel deliver one of the most fucking heartless lines, which is a funny homage to one of the stuff that I wrote back in the day in high school, in one of my high school plays that I used to do, which is basically smoking kills, cigarette kills, or something like this. So I want this guy to go, like, emerge from the ground with this line of like, oh, you see, smoking is bad for you, something like this, and then the detective kicking his ass, and or them fighting. Actually, I don't want to spoil the ending. But yeah. Sure about those ribs here. So I can even split. I can split a rib or break it down. Yeah, he was a fat guy, but still I don't want to make this huge empty gut full of ribs. And then these vertebrae things, which again I'm not quite sure how to draw vertebrae, but like in the Masumune Shiro example, you don't have to know exact anatomy to draw something resembling alien anatomy. Then I want like pieces of flesh to be ripped, and then the thing is, I also wanted to have some guts like roll under. I want this to be in a bed of blood, sort of. So this Now, in the impact, there was some blood, but not that much. Moments later, when the guy is lying there, gutted in half, maybe you could see his other hand here. Or maybe I shouldn't. Does this help or not? Does it help sell the image or does it complicate? Maybe it helps a little bit sell it because you can see this hand where you shouldn't be seeing it normally. See, he wouldn't have much of any guts left, but let me Google, or actually let me Google here so it's all transparent. Oops. Guts. Intestines. No, this is not gonna be intestines. This is gonna be gory. Intestines. How do intestines look? It's pretty simple. All right. Okay. There's a lot of stuff here because there are the ribs and the vertebrae and the blood, and there's going to be bubbles and pieces of skin. And in a small panel like this, I'm not sure if I'll be able to have a lot of space left for, but maybe some. Right? Yeah, actually. Oh fuck! I didn't even do his not his wings, but his what do you call it? Tentacles on the back. I need to do a flying tentacle or two. God damn it. Okay, I'm gonna get back to that tentacle stuff. Okay, it seems like a very tight thing, meaning it's got the pipes look like they need to be tight. So if this is one intestine kind of sticking out, I don't know if I should. Well, I'll do a few more things here and there. Some intestines that have survived. Now, just so you know what we're talking about here, and I don't know if you should, but I'll tell you anyway. How do you? Okay. This one is going to be broken. Anyways, I don't know why I'm so happy about this. It's brutal work. Anyways, this guy was hit by something that looks to the reader as just a regular old what do you call it? Meteorite, asteroid, whatever. But in fact, he got killed. By a guy, a robot, an advanced creature with an intelligence. So. I want to have a little bit of blood as if he spit out the blood, right? He's trying to breathe. And so in this case, this well maybe should connect. Maybe like that. Maybe I'll bring it up. Okay, let me remove those intestines for the average person watching being okay. And let's go back to this. Now what I meant is here I didn't have any flying tentacles. Silly me. I'll do at least 2. Because they're in, what do you call it? Silhouette. I don't need to be super specific about it. No, they're too similar. Close to each other. This one, okay. There might be a smaller one. This here. Trying to do something funny, but it ends up being too difficult to read. That's the other thing. I'm not sure if half of this shit is gonna be understandable to people outside of my immediate mind. No, why the same direction? Let me do the opposite. Yeah, I guess 3 I'll do. Or maybe even that is too much. Because the thing is, you know, you don't want to distract from the figure of the guy. But he did have those tentacles. The only thing that doesn't work is this one. I feel like. Two may be too little, but whatever. And 2 is against most rules of anything. If you look at the rules of anything, they'll say no 2s, please. But let's see. I might try to keep this thing in the middle. Let's go. this interruption of the usual flow of nothingness, of dramatic and pretty violent nothingness. Would you ever eat something like this? A tentacle like this? That's a good question. Bogey, thank you for asking. I would, in fact, eat it if there's a lot of soy sauce. Was I reading? Oh, I like that. Was I reading that soy sauce is bad for your masculinity because of all the estrogen, or was it? Might sprinkle some more later, but whatever. I think it's suffice to say, he looks like it would be a long way to recover from this accident. Work-related accident. When you're a cop in the future. Work-related accident occur. Alright, let's try this. Let's try to do some stuff on this one. Alright. A lot of hard breathing. This is the thing when I was a younger person. I didn't understand why grown-ups are so loud at just living. And now I'm very loud, I think. I don't know. No one has ever... sometimes people tell me I'm loud when I talk. But I feel like I'm loud even when I'm not talking. Do you know what I mean? I think my loudness increases. And just because I'm not hanging out with a lot of kids, or the kids that I'm hanging out with are really, really well mannered and polite. They don't want to tell me how loud I've become. And things like breathing, just adjusting things in my throat, in my mind before speaking. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm way louder than I used to be. And I don't know what it means. But it means I'm gonna die soon. Alright, let's try this motherfucking face on a motherfucking future planet. God damn it. This 05 every fucking time, man. I press down so hard. I break down these fucking... Motherfucker. How many of these have ruined? Because what it is it's a tiny little thingy sticking out of it, and that thingy is the tip of the marker. But if you press it down too much, it breaks or caves in. Then it's hard to draw. It's his badge. They wear it on the sleeve in the future, on a bracelet. I like it for some reason the way I did his face here. It looks very very much like Capullo. I just bought a new Capullo. Well, it's not a new one. Every once in a while I buy a new comic book just to get inspired. And I always love Capullo. I mean, and his Batman looks very much like that. Here's a quick glance. This is Death Metal by Capullo and Snyder, and just amazing stuff. I gotta love this. You know, this is such a spoiler, but look at this. This just to show you everything, how cool this is. So, Wonder Woman. This is Batman inside a Batman. Okay, it's a little bit out there, but check this out. There's multiverses, there's dark verses, and everything. All right. So now a bunch of Batmans from different versions of the Earth, from different multiverses, have joined forces to fight the Bat who laughs. And so this car is in itself, in a freak accident, a Batman. It became a car. And it's driven by another Batman. And this, I think, was a version of the Batman slash the thing from the swamp. Anyways, you see a mini Batman. This is, I think, Adam Batman or whatever it's called. In the grass, you see this thing's changing, and then on the very end, this Batmobile drives him over, and I don't know if you can see this, but there's a very tiny little squirp, and his head is, oh, God damn it, you can't see it. His head is flying away here. I mean, look at this tiny little panel at the bottom. And what mastery in this little fucking Batman head flying away. And because he was so, heroic looking and getting ready to help, and then they just kill him randomly. What a great fucking page. Just to kill a character for no reason. And the whole thing is just beautiful. It's just beautiful. It's Greg at his best, doing his Greg stuff. What a great Lobo. I mean, and his new version of Superman and everything in this particular thing is so great. Look at this. Soups. Everything is cool. But I meant that the Batman here, his Batman kind of is very cool. And the eyes are slightly different on his Batman. They're a little skewed. I mean, he does that often. I feel like he's probably cycling through faces by micro adjusting different things on their faces, because he's really good at faces and at emotions, showing different emotions and to match different lines. Like if you look at this, he's doing such a classic kind of superhero type of drawing. Yet every character is distinct. You can recognize them. You can recognize this face, even though it has a mask and everything. It's different than, say, this face. It's different than this and this. So that's pretty impressive. And it's not just fat, thin. It's micro adjustments. I really like his Green Lantern, for example. When would you say that? I like someone's Green Lantern. You don't give a fuck unless you draw him, because Green Lantern doesn't have anything really interesting about him, his suit, or anything. But it's gotta be this character, the acting of the character. I'm trying to find the Green Lantern here to show you. This is just such a great. Oh yeah, you can see here. Or actually, is this a Green Lantern or something? Someone else? Yeah, the Green Lantern is here. I'm getting it. fucking thing from the light. Fucking can't fix the light. Anyway. But great stuff. And his Wonder Woman I really like. There's something interesting about her. I'm not sure if he was just trying to do a take on Linda Carter and ended up with this, or something. There's something Asian about her face. It's very pleasing to look at, very appealing. She's the only one that kind of doesn't change to all this dark metal and metal stuff, because she's immortal, so like her face looks the same. And everyone else is kind of getting old, young, back and forth, different versions of themselves. So if I find a good... Yeah, like look at this, for example, here. Such a great face. Such a simple... This one too. But it's very distinct, this one. Like, there's something wild and strong about her, which she's supposed to have as a character. But also really cool. So yeah, I thought this face kind of resembled a little bit this Batman that he does. Maybe wishful thinking, as always. Bogey the wishful thinker. This terrible. How the fuck did I do this? So terrible. But I did it. I did it. I did it. I did it. Okay. So how do I do those tears? If you get hungry looking at this and feel like, ribs, I like some ribs. I don't know what to say then. Because that's exactly what I was thinking right now. So I don't know what to say about myself, my mental state. So here's my take on vertebrae. You just do really big, conjoined, what was it called? Goddamn. Intimate thingies that women wear. They're not tampons, but the other thing. What species is Trumpy? Well, Trumpy is, I don't know if you recall from the previous story, but there was one race there in particular that was like the protagonist, the antagonist race. And that was the race of the farther ones. That's how they referred to them, the characters. And you'll be like, who are the farther ones? And the speculation was that it was aliens, right? Because of the evidence we had of how they looked. And they looked pretty disgusting. And in the detective's words, they looked like troglodytes. Whatever that means. But then it turns out that it's not actually aliens. It was humans from the very far distant future, where whatever happened, and we're going to find out in this installment what happened. People started looking differently. So to answer your question, Trumpy was a man. He was a man of the future. Just as this Studi guy and the other guys, he is just a regular old dude. And so one of the things we're going to find out here in the course of this book is that, in fact, not all people of the future are bad, because we thought, oh, the farther ones. Actually, it was just one fraction of them that are going to be revealed also, who, who've had that desire to destroy the Earth of the past. Everyone else was pretty chill. And so when the detective went into the future, he started working with the humans of the future. And, you know, despite of some of them being bad, but he was obviously working on the good side. And he got assigned a partner called Trumpy. And this is officially the last panel. We're gonna see Trumpy. Trumpy dead, bitch. Trumpy dead. Trumpy dead. Trumpy is dead. Officially dead. Every time I kill someone in the comics, I'm gonna throw some echo.
I'm gonna make my voice sound like this every time someone dies.
Anyways, let's not get ridiculous. Because there's going to be a lot of blood, and a lot of the blood is going to be black. I'm going to first maybe do the black, and then whatever is left, I'm going to do the rendering and stuff. But first, not to waste any time, maybe I can throw in the teeth still. At least one. Yeah, alright. I got some teeth. Looks bad, but whatever. I'm just marking where, like, the bubbles, the bigger bubbles are going to be. Obviously, the smaller ones I can add with sprinkles. But okay, so now I'm going to go. Alright, I can turn this around. Maybe then it'll be easier for everyone. There's some people who are really good at like guts and shit. And one of them that I can think of is Ryan. God damn it! Need to check my Instagram. I try to follow Ryan Otley. What was his name? Ryan Otley. This is the guy who created. Like if you see every single thing he does, there's a lot of blood. Shit, this goddamn lamp. This guy's created this thing. What was it called? The invisible something. They did a show now about it. But this guy's all about tons of gore and blood. And he does it in a nicely stylized way. Like you see all of this shit. It's 90% fucking blood and guts. Some people go really hard with it. I don't go too hard. I could go more juicy. Maybe it's because, I don't know any better, but try to do a little bit of that. And because when I go with the colors, I'm still gonna go a bunch of stuff with the red. So this is just part of it. There's gonna be at least one more layer of shit going on. So I want to make my life easier and leave most of it out of the way by that point. But if there's something left, I sometimes leave some space open just to experiment with color. There used to be a medieval torture. Well, not torture, because it's one of those tortures you can't recover from. There was more accurate way of putting it would probably be a type of execution. Where they would take out the guy to a forest, or the gal, but I guess this applied more to guys. Sorry, gals. We were killing guys differently back in the day. So, they would basically make a tiny hole in your gut, in your stomach, and pull out a tiny bit of your intestine. And because it's so long, they could actually keep pulling until they pull enough to wrap you around the tree with your own intestine. So you're tied to a tree with your own intestine and you wait patiently until you're dead. So that's how people used to fucking do business back in the day. Don't fuck with me, yo. Don't fuck with me. We're gonna go to the forest. Gonna take a walk in the forest, bitch. You choose your words wisely, because something in my gut tells me you got a bunch of guts laying around, you're not using them much, and there's a bunch of trees in the forest, and you're about to find out all the ways in which you can hug a tree. If I should do this one. All right. We have something. And now I would see most of this inside also as dark. Actually, let me finish this. I guess I'll do just maybe a little bit of the inside of this thing. Yeah. And the rest of it will be tissues. Okay, now that we have the main black stuff out of the picture, we need to now see what would be the direction of the light and how we would relight it. It would be really dramatic to light it from underneath, excuse me. But with this darkness here, probably it would make sense probably from the other side. Let's see. Because also, you want to see the face. If the light would come from here, this would be dark, this would be dark, and the face should be dark. If the light comes here, so it hits the face, okay. Then, let's try that. Then you have... Just trying to figure out what kind of rendering also, different textures. You don't want to have those fucking sticking out vertebrae completely white. I can go with the color, make them red, but also there has to be some sort of texture. Alright, we'll see. We'll see as time goes by. Actually, I might like this face here looks kind of weird. It is correct, but it still looks weird. Correct meaning if you measure it, if you do whatever, it's not off. Something's missing. So what do I do? Well, one thing I can do is just try to cover up a little bit of it because I don't feel comfortable. It's like my undie panties. I don't feel comfortable with them. Not always. So, just gonna splash a little bit here. Just some blood. This fucking dead face. Did it fix it? No. Probably made it worse. But we'll let it dry, and then we'll see. At least added a little bit of dirt, a little bit of... And then I could do the same with the white. And I will, but a little bit later. And in the meantime, let's continue with shadowing. And I'm gonna get the hard tip this time though. This time though, I get the hard tip, yo. not quite sure what I'm doing here. So what I'm doing here is most probably just creating values. And then I'm going to look at them later and try to judge. Because I like the imagination to figure out exactly what is going on inside of his body, you know. That's the thing, like if you lack the imagination of exactly what is happening on the border of this like dark hole and the, like, you know, sometimes it's hard to imagine, so you do things and you look at the things you've done and you go, what does that look like? And you go from there. Which is a little bit backwards, but it is like just values. Alright, so most of this hand, I think, is done. And this hand, I wanted to do some veins. This is as much as I can zoom in, I think. So I might not be seeing all of the stuff that I'm doing here. Alright, admittedly, that's one of the poorest hands I'd ever done. But it's, you're not even supposed to look at it too much. this better be dark. That's better. He looks more submerged in the. All right. That's better. That's a little better. So now, I wonder if I should do smoke coming out of the body. It's too early for flies. Okay. So probably I'll just sprinkle some shit and maybe leave it. Either leave it blank or leave the rubble from the. Maybe leave the rubble behind. Yeah. Let me see. Let me experiment with the rubble. Because this effect is pretty strong, like when there's nothing in the behind and you get this thing, but you don't want to abuse it too much because then it seems gimmicky, like you always do it. So if in here I have some concrete stuff. Maybe too much. Like this. And then I'll sprinkle the shit at the very end. This is one texture that is really hard for me to do, is like rocks, crumpled rocks. I don't know why. I learned to do the metallic stuff sort of a little bit better. But the rubble, which is actually super useful because in those comic book scenarios, it is like everywhere that they use it. You know? Because constantly you have some sort of destruction of the universe, cataclysmic event. There's not supposed to be two regular blocks, but whatever. It's just a little bit of something. And so normally what you would do is, if you do like background versus foreground like this, I used to say that before, but you don't want to go too crazy on the detail in the back if you've done detail in the front, just to differentiate between the two. That's one way to kind of switch. And if you have color to play with and add in the background, then later it's better. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do too much, but I'm going to do just a little bit of detail. It's not even rendering, I'm going to do detail instead. Because that's the stuff that's going to stick out from the color stuff. I'm alternating the lines, if you notice, on purpose, because I want to make it more organic. So just to show you what I'm doing here in bigger detail. So normally if there's a, whatever it is, it's got this wall, I might go just straight with those lines, if this is just shadow. But you see what I was doing here was I was doing sort of this, and so this creates layers. And if you know rock, when rock breaks, it creates like these. If you look at like a rock that's maybe, okay, that's a big rock. Let's see, and it's broken here. Sometimes it has these like mini rocks. So that's the way I think about it. Is I have, like, let's say I have a rock sitting on the ground. Great illustration. Let's imagine that this is a camera looking down from, and this is me. This is my head. This is my stomach. And those are my arms. And those are my legs. And this is my beautiful hair. So it's from above, and that rock, it has those, might have those breaks here and there, and they're mini rocks. They're either negative rocks or positive rocks. Does it make sense? No. Why did I say it? I don't know. Just cracks in the rocks. Ain't nothing special. And some very light rendering. Yeah, whatever. It's got some stuff going on in the back. That's the whole point. And now, let me look. Because before I sprinkle this, the sweet sauce. Okay, by the way, did you look already? Did you see already the Saints of Newark? You gotta watch it, man. I got nobody to talk to about this. These kids nowadays, they don't watch The Sopranos. Now he looks like he was eaten by some insect. So I'm gonna add some sprinkle. And I might just put this piece of paper on the upper part, just so I don't ruin everything with this heavy rain. I have not seen it yet. You gotta see it, man, because I feel like, you know, you watched Breaking Bad, and I'm not sure if you watched El Camino afterwards, but El Camino, they did like a Netflix special, Netflix one-off episode kind of thing, and it's kind of like that, in the sense that to me, it didn't feel, and this is no criticism and no spoiler of anything, but to me, it didn't feel like a separate movie. It felt like a one longish episode, right? El Camino did. And this thing is the same to me. It feels like another episode of The Sopranos. And if that's all it achieves, then that's great, you know? I mean, it works for us, right? It should work for every fan. So this is what I meant. They do a lot of stuff these days that's like fan service. See, I'm not sure if I should keep it like darkish like this or do another layer of white sprinkle. And then, it's not focused on this. Once I do the white sprinkle. Should I do the white sprinkle? I think I should do the white sprinkle. Yeah. So on this this card, I have one edge is for the black stuff, one is for the white stuff, baby. I got different goo to spray here. I got some white goo, baby. I got some black goo. Whatever you want. Whatever you want, goo. A little bit of white goo. That didn't sprinkle nothing. Oh, and by the way, well, this is no spoiler, but one thing I really love about this new Saints, that you gotta give him credit for that, is the casting, man. Like the combination of talent and makeup, Jesus. These guys knocked the ball out the park. I think that in terms of sprinkle, snowy enough. Snowy and goofy. I think this is as goofy, snowy a death for this character as we can have here. And I'm gonna continue working, and this particular page, for whatever reason, I decided to go with more. I decided to go with more than the usual, because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fucking panels on this one page. But it's just because I want to quicken up the pace. I'm already taking much longer in terms of pages than I anticipated. And I thought, can I do more in one? Let's see if this works. And since it's going to be mostly action-packed and just people fighting one another on the next few pages, some comic book fight scene, then I don't understand now this pointing finger with a question mark, huh? I think that's how you're supposed to read it, huh? And watch the new arc, new Saints of New Arc, whatever the fuck it was called. Great casting, great makeup. These guys really did a great job making sure they all look the part. I thank you all for watching. Thank you, Augie, for supporting as usual. I tell you good night, goodbye, and I love you. And we keep up the good work in what I learned is called Inktober. Okay, Inktober, which is when you're supposed to ink every day in October. And I found out near the end of the month, but nevertheless, let's ink. We got a few fucking days left. And let's do this. All right. Good night. I love you. Goodbye.